They say Democrats are the party of criminal justice reform. Sure they are, and Whataburger is really just a salad bar. Every campaign season, the left promises to end mass incarceration, reform policing, and treat addiction, not crime. But then they get elected, and what happens? Suddenly reform means another task force, another study, and another reason nothing ever changes. So let's talk about what actually happens. In cities run by Democrats, Austin, Dallas, Houston, prosecutors still throw the book at non-violent offenders. You get caught with a joint and you're lucky if the DA even remembers that diversion program that they bragged about in their campaign mailers. Meanwhile, the same county DAs, Democratic DAs, the ones who talk big about restorative justice, are still packing plea deals and maxing out sentences to keep their conviction stats high. And in Austin, Democrats filed bills to boldly reform the system, knowing damn well that the bills will quietly die in committee before ever seeing a floor vote, while their authors send out fundraising emails bragging about fighting for justice. Because in politics, justice reform is great branding until somebody runs attack ads about being weak on crime. You can't say you stand for justice while running the same system that's been wrecking lives for decades. You can't claim to oppose mass incarceration while cashing campaign checks from the prison contractors who build it. You can't preach compassion for addicts who just need a little help while prosecuting them just to fill diversion quotas. And you sure as hell can't call yourself the party of reform when you keep defending the very bureaucracy that feeds off of human misery, and when you keep voting for tough on crime bills every time the GOP rattles the fear cage. Texas Democrats love to talk about mass incarceration like it's a Republican invention. But take a look around. Democratic counties are still filling the jails. It isn't a partisan failure, it's a moral one. Because the truth is, both parties need the system. Republicans get to look tough, Democrats get to look responsible, and the prisons keep humming along like the world's worst job program. Because in Texas, bipartisan consensus just means both sides agrees to keep the cages filled. Freedom means more than not being behind bars. It means living in a society where the system doesn't throw people in cages just to look busy. Real reform isn't about slogans, it's about restraint. It's about admitting that most criminal justice isn't about justice at all. It's about control. It's about government humble enough to say, we don't need to destroy a life to protect one. Libertarians have been saying that for decades. Treat addiction as a medical issue. End mandatory minimums. Stop policing addiction. Quit funding prosecutors based on body counts. That's not soft on crime, it's hard on tyranny. If Democrats actually believed in the reforms they tweet about, half of Texas would be home from prison by now. Instead, we've got blue cities and red prisons, the perfect little ecosystem of hypocrisy. And every election, they promise to fix it, as long as you keep electing the same people who broke it. If the parties agree that the system's broken, why do they keep feeding it? Maybe it's because mass incarceration is one bipartisan program that never runs out of funding or excuses. Freedom doesn't mean choosing which party gets to play warden. It means ending the system that profits from punishment. So ask yourself, if your local progressive DA throws another addict in jail for their own good, especially after promising reform, who's really being rehabilitated? The addict or the system? What do you think? Are Democrats serious about criminal justice reform or just better at pretending to be? And tag someone who's seen the system up close and knows that freedom is not a partisan issue.